started. Henry, you're our MC tonight. Can you get us started, please?
I will try. Good evening. I'm Henry Marchand, and I'm delighted to welcome you to and host this year's Lowell Parks and Conservation Trust's Good News Celebration Soiree. Please use the reactions and chat functions at the bottom of your screen throughout tonight's event, and note that this is being recorded. And please pardon us for any technical issues as we go along. To begin, I'd like to introduce the board. Board members, please wave as I introduce you. Sheila Kirschbaum is our president. Vice president is Jamie Ahern. Treasurer is David Braslow. And Jonathan Gear is the clerk. Board members include Brian Chapman, Christine Cole, Matt Donahue, Mark Romanowski, Tiffany Ross, and Sophia TM.
Hi.
Here we go. Staff will be introduced in a minute from a special live location. But first, we need to thank our sponsors. Lead sponsor is Nancy L. Donahue. Supporter, the Romanowski family. Friend sponsors include Lowell Sun Charities, Christine Cole, Jack Moynihan and Carolyn Walsh, Conway Insurance, Mark and Cassandra Goldwater, Martha Mayo, Enterprise Bank, Junda Credit Union, Maxa Barid, Brian and Elise Martin, the Coppinger Company, and Marjorie Miller. Thank you all for your support of this soiree and for the trust. At this point, I'd just like to say a few words to highlight why I support the trust. I was working at the Lowell Plan in 1990 when the trust was formed and shared Lowell Plan office space. I got to see firsthand its growth and the dedication of its founding and board members. When Jane became executive director, she brought renewed excitement to the organization's mission and vision. And when she asked me to serve on the board, well, I couldn't say no. The Lowell Parks and Conservation Trust addresses a lot of issues that I find important and exciting: environmental protection and education, land preservation, historic preservation, open space development, and of course, turtles. I could go on, but we're on a strict schedule, and I know that all of you share my excitement for the Trust's work. We want to recognize that tomorrow, June 19th, is Juneteenth, the oldest nationally celebrated commemoration of the ending of slavery in the United States. We encourage you to participate in Lowell's first annual Juneteenth celebration happening at several places throughout Lowell. Please look for a link in the chat section. I also want to acknowledge that probably all of us enjoying this virtual soiree are living on the traditional territory of the Pawtucket, Pennacook, and Pentucket nations, territories within the Merrimack and Concord River watersheds. And now, let's begin with board members Sophia TM and Tiffany Ross, who are out on the Concord River Greenway to help get our soiree off to a great start from a beautiful location that few people have seen yet, since it's still under construction. Take it away.
Hi, everybody. We're at the site of the Concord River Greenway, where this July will be finished the bridge right over the Concord River. In a minute, you'll see some behind the scenes drone footage. But first, we'd like to take this moment to introduce the staff to you. Lee Cameron, Katie Durkin, Emily Wood, Kathy Herbor, William Miguel, Lisa Berezin, and of course, Jane Palvin. Many of you ordered and may be enjoying the grazing platter from our wonderful friends at Grazing Platter Board and Abby Thatcher. Thank you. These include traditional soiree fare, including our fresh strawberries.
I'm back, Jane. Okay.
All right.
Thanks, Sophia and Tiffany. And as the commercial says, that's not all. There's actually another bridge being installed by the city on the Greenway, and we have a brief video for you. A behind the scenes look at the Greenway and its construction in progress.
I'm William. I'm standing on the northern tip of Centennial Island. If you look to the right of me, or your right at least, you can see the Concord River right here, right along the Concord Greenway. And if you just look straight ahead, you can kind of see Jolene Park all the way down there. And I'm actually living this at the same time as you guys. This is my first time here as well. This is really a hidden gem of Lowell. I never knew this existed here, and it's really a sight to see. I'm sure you guys can agree. It really is something.
So what are we standing on right now?
I'm actually glad you asked it, because we're actually standing on the future bridge that's going to connect us over there to the Centennial Apartments. And this is going to connect the whole Concord Greenway all the way down, and hopefully it will connect at the end to Jolene Park.
So when is the bridge going to be installed?
Great question. The bridge is about to be installed. We're looking at mid-July soon, and we'll see this bridge connect over there to Centennial Apartments. And it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be a great connection to the Concord Greenway. So I'm actually really excited for this addition to the Concord River Greenway, because if I didn't mention this, I go to UMass Lowell. I just finished my first year as a biology major, and both as a biology major and as a student of Lowell, I think it's going to be a great addition to just walk over this bridge, see the sight of the river, and just have everything connected and have a nice little walk, maybe in my spare time, or just exploring the city.
Thank you, William. Great job. What a beautiful location, huh? These bridges will provide access to both sides of the river and close a significant gap in the Greenway. Well, next, we have a message from Executive Director Extraordinaire, Jane Calvin. She's coming to us from an unusual location under the Lowell Connector.
Oh, I've been there.
I've been there.
So I want to
welcome you to the Connector Trail. This is the future site of the Connector Trail that's going to extend the Bruce Freeman Rail Trail into the city. It's also part of the larger Bay Circuit Trail. We're so excited to have this done. As you can see, I'm walking along. There's this aerosol art corridor here. You might want to call this graffiti, but I've learned a lot about graffiti. There's a whole hierarchy of artists and how they communicate with each other and how they police each other out here. They write over each other's artwork. It's constantly moving. They give each other permission to write over it, and there's different caliber of aerosol art out here. It's really fascinating to come out here and watch it over time. Unfortunately, it's an illegal activity, and we're hoping to make this the first sanctioned place for public art, aerosol art in the state, because there is no permanently sanctioned place for aerosol art in the state right now. So we're hoping to build that into this trail extension. So essentially the trail is going to, the Bruce Freeman Rail Trail ends at Cross Point, and it's going to extend onto the Lowell Connector. You might even hear the highway above me right now. And it's going to extend all the way to the back of the Target parking lot. So from where I'm standing, this is Cross Point, and in this direction is the Bruce Freeman Rail Trail. Actually cut over to the Concord River Greenway through the city's cemeteries. There's a bus stop there and everything, and that's all part of the Bay Circuit Trail. Or you can travel along the edge of the Target parking lot and River Meadowbrook, and that'll take you right to the LRTA terminal. So we're really excited about all the connections that this one connector trail makes. So once again, just so excited that this is happening this summer. We're so excited to have you all be part of the celebration for making sure that this happens and helping us make this happen. We're grateful to our Senator Kennedy, who helped bring an earmark in. There's a grant from the Gateway Cities program that came to the city, and the Jarvis Auto Dealership also gave the city an easement to make this corridor happen. So we're super excited, and we're so grateful to have all your support. Thank you.
Thank you, Jane. And yet another exciting and unique project, an urban art gallery and bike trail combined under the Lowell Connector. I look forward to seeing that constructed this summer. Big thanks to the city, the many advocates for this project, the Friends of the Bruce Freeman Rail Trail, and Senator Ed Kennedy for helping the Trust's vision become reality. Now, back to Sophia and Tiffany, who have moved to another fun location on the Concord to share their experiences with wildlife in the city.
Yes or no? Hi everyone, I'm standing at the Centennial Island Fish Ladder, where we just finished a great season of monitoring for the return of herring on the Concord River. Over 25 volunteers involved, and they made a combined 337 visits to the fish ladder. There were some amazing wildlife encounters out here, including a mink with fish in its mouth, a river otter, and lots of herons. There's a heron out there right now. You can see it. You see it? I'm not sure if you can see it, but there's a heron out there. Last summer, we had a wildlife encounter of another kind with endangered Blanding's turtle. Here's the story of how we saved 8 hatchlings and raised them up until they were released last week.
I think I would say what I saw the day I found them was magical, because I was going over to look and see if anybody came out, any turtle came out, and lo and behold, there were 2 of them.
It's really hard to remember with these guys how small they were. They weighed probably on average about 9 grams.
Yep.
How much do they weigh on average now?
150 is the average, 180 is the largest, and
112 is the smallest?
Somewhere between, what does that make it, about 15 and 20 times heavier these turtles are. Fairly fast growing. Can you imagine if your 6-pound kid was 120 pounds when she was, you know, 9 months old?
And put the 2 turtles down, and I said, this is magical. You know, to see that they came out of that hole and that the 2 of them were there. And one of the husbands of one of the neighbors came to get, what can I do? And it was thundering and lightning. What can I do? I said, oh my goodness, I'm saving turtles here.
Yeah.
So it was magical, I would say.
I love the community aspect of how many people were involved in a project like this to take care of these 8 turtles. It wasn't just one person or one organization, it was a group of people, and that's special.
You know, this project that Lee, you know, started and got us wrapped up in is a really good example of, I think, what it will take to do a lot of conservation for rare species, you know, not only here in Drake and Lowell or in Massachusetts, but also around the world. Because, you know, as we know, there are a lot of us, and a lot of the other species that live in the world are really squeezed. And many of them, if we want to have them around, whether it's Atlantic turtles or tigers, you know, or polar bears, many kinds of plant species, want to have them around, we're going to need people to intentionally work on their behalves. And so the state depends on, conservation efforts depend on people, first off, knowing some of the rare animals and plants that live around them and looking for them and then reporting them, you know, like was done here. In a place with a little more cover. So if you want to go, Maeve, you know, if you can make it out to like a little channel between those tussock sedge clumps. Yeah.
You know, my sister was involved, my sister Carolyn, and once I heard that there were turtles, because I love turtles and I love frogs and I love animals, so I said, I definitely have to get involved in this. And honestly, see, now I will start crying. I've loved them. And just, I wish I had seen them, you know, from the inception, but I didn't. But I definitely saw growth.
How about right here?
Great. Bye, guys. Good luck. Happy life. Love you guys.
And these guys definitely do a lot of checking around. It's like, okay, this does not look like my tank.
Because I did see them when they were all in one tank, and it would be so funny to come in and they would all be right there looking. But yeah, what I noticed really is that they do have different personalities, and you know, people who think animals have no feelings, you know, it's just all instinct. Totally disagree with that.
Oh, I miss you so much.
Oh, good for you. Tiny Tim is very smart about the whole thing.
There he goes.
Tiny Tim went right for God.
Well, that's fantastic. That is incredible. And as I noted earlier, turtles and those shells, I was amazed. The design on the shells is really amazing. While it was a chance encounter, it truly highlights how the Trust approaches wildlife protection and environmental education. And the turtles are a perfect hook to get our young people involved and excited about science and nature. So thank you all who were involved in that particular project. And again, we'd like to pause to spotlight our sponsors. The lead sponsor is Nancy L. Donahue, supporter, the Romanowski family. Friend sponsors are Lowell Sun Charities, Christine Cole, Jack Moynihan and Carolyn Walsh, Conway Insurance, Brian and Cassandra Goldwater, Martha Mayo, Enterprise Bank, Jundak Credit Union, Max Everid, Brian and Elise Martin, the Carpenter Company, and Marjorie Miller. Again, thank you. And now we'd like to share a few highlights from our year of mostly virtual environmental education, including our after-school program offered in partnership with Mass Audubon. You'll see staff responding creatively to the pandemic, connecting with with youth that needed the extra fun academic time. And we have another question. Poll.
Sure, let's do that, and then I'll show the video.
Okay.
There we go. It's resounding.
Are we getting yeses?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Woo-hoo.
Oh, that's great. We will schedule a tour pending construction plans, because construction is pending any moment. And if any of you are interested in helping, we're going to be doing a cleanup under the connector first, and then the construction crew is going to start. So we'd love to have you all involved with either, and we'll give soiree invitees the first invitation. So it'll be later this summer, and we'll let you know when it's scheduled. All right, I'm going to share the screen for the education video.
Today I'm going to show you how to create your own nature journals. It's really easy.
So again, very slowly, breathing in through your nose, down the pipe, filling the abdomen out with air. I liken this to filling up a balloon.
Show you how to make your own bird feeder with stuff you have around the house or even in your backyard.
In today's video, I'm going to be talking about some parasitic plants that you can find all around Massachusetts.
Property that I'm standing on right now was bought in 1758. Well, now you're inside the house. We're in the hallway. And I'm going to just backtrack a teeny and notice the ceiling.
Down this section of the Concord River Greenway, you'll come across multilingual signage in 3 different languages in addition to English, Spanish, Portuguese, and Khmer. We hope that you'll enjoy them, and there's a curriculum online that's attached to these signs as well. Behind me, you'll see Wamasett Falls. Behind that is a Demille fish ladder, the Centennial Island fish ladder.
I'm here today with my friends Shay and Julian, and we're here to talk to you about water. Water is something we probably don't put much thought into.
In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how I created this solitary bee hotel specifically designed for mason bees. exploring the history of botanical illustration, flower formulas, and also creating a plant portrait of Solomon seal. In today's video, we will be doing a flower dissection activity using this lily right here. We will be looking at all of its component parts from petal to pistil.
I'm going to show you today the wonderful trees that you can find on this property and how to calculate the benefits that they give us.
Here at West Meadow, and today we will be going on a little tour doing some basic plant ID together, as well as creating an event map for this beautiful natural area.
Well, thank you, Lee and Emily, for those terrific videos that we're seeing tonight. That was fabulous. And now we have a special guest, the Director of Education and Engagement for Mass Audubon, Chris Skopinich. Lowell Parks Conservation Trust has partnered with the Mass Audubon since 2006 to offer STEM-based after-school environmental education programs in Lowell's public schools. Welcome, Chris. Thank you for your long-standing partnership.
Oh, thank you so much. It's an absolute pleasure to be here. I'm so happy to say a few words in celebration of the Lowell Parks and Conservation Trust. I mean, what a fantastic program. This is amazing. I love the videos and the live feeds. I can't wait to see the bridge at Centennial Island and to see the turtles. Look at all that's being accomplished for the residents of Lowell and surrounding communities. It's just incredible. And we've been so proud to be a part of some of that. I reside just upriver from Lowell, so we are connected. And frankly, don't tell anybody, but Lowell is my favorite city in Massachusetts. Thanks to all of you, thanks to Jane and the Trust. As you just heard, we've been working together for the past 15 years, which is kind of incredible. And the amount of impact that our organizations have been able to achieve, I would say far outweighs what we could have accomplished without our partnership. I want to call out Kristen McCauley. Remember that Greater Lowell lunch we were at 15 years ago where we came up with a harebrained idea to work in a few after schools? It's amazing working with Jane, what this has become over the years in partnership together. What's great about our partnership is that each of our team members bring unique strengths and assets to our partnership. And the testament to that is the growth of our programming over the years and working together, and the youth that have grown into youth mentors for younger youth and into leaders in the Lowell community. It's also evidenced by the many partners that we both worked with that have grown over the years. You know, speaking on behalf of Mass Audubon, the Trust is really a role model in land conservation and especially in urban communities. And to me, perhaps more important is the mindfulness and commitment that the Lowell Parks and Conservation Trust has to connect people to these amazing lands and these amazing treasures in Lowell so that they can more profoundly connect to nature in the city. At Mass Audubon, this collaborative program that we've developed in Lowell, this model is so valued that we just completed an action agenda, and we're committed to building more partnerships just like this one in other cities across the Commonwealth. And again, I think that's a testament to how wonderful it has always been to work with Jane and the Trust and all of the staff members that our educators get to work with to design these programs. So just another way that the Trust is impacting the world of conservation and community-based environmental education, kind of even beyond the city of Lowell and surrounding communities. So I just want to say thank you for a great 15 years. And that Mass Audubon and I look forward to many, many more great years ahead. So thank you so much. Thanks for having me, and I can't wait to see what else is in store.
Well, thank you, Chris. Mass Audubon is indeed a terrific partner, and the resources and support you bring are tremendous assets to the Trust's mission. And I'm sure that we all look forward to another 15 years of productive partnership. Up next, we have a special video from our... Keep going?
Go ahead.
Okay, sorry. Up next, we have a special video from our U.S. Senator Ed Markey with a personal message for students in our Environmental Youth Task Force, which was launched through our partnerships. And there's that word again, partnerships. It's what the Trust, I think, is all about. Our partnerships with Mass Audubon, Lowell National Historical Park, Tsongas Industrial History Center, and the Smithsonian affiliations.
Hello, everyone. I'm Senator Ed Markey. I'm so sorry that I'm unable to join you in person today, but I didn't want your event to pass without thanking you for the important work that you are doing to protect our natural resources and for serving as stewards of our environment. Just last month, I joined with Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez in reintroducing the Green New Deal in Congress, which sets a series of ambitious but achievable goals for our country to be the leader in changing the way in which we treat this God-given, wonderful planet that we live in. And we need to be the United States of America. We need to be the leader in protecting our planet for your generation and for every future generation to follow. And given that so much of what we are trying to accomplish with the Green New Deal is for you, the young people of the world, it's very heartening for me to see you so passionately involved in making a difference in your community. And I want to thank the Lowell Parks and Conservation Trust, your executive director, Jane Calvin, and partner organizations like the Mass Audubon Society, the Lowell National Historic Park, Drummond Farm, and Lowell Public Schools for working with you. And of course, I want to thank Katie Durkin-Cook, Sally Farrow, and Michelle Pizzolo, who I know have been working closely with you to not only educate you on environmental issues, but to help you put that education to work in real hands-on projects right in your own backyard. I think it's fantastic that the Lowell Parks and Conservation Trust not only starts working with kids in the summer after 8th grade through the Compass Environmental Adventures program, but then builds on that through the teens representing environmental excellence and stewardship program, or as you guys call it, trees. When classmates, before you decided to form trees, it proved to be yet another example of how the young people in the Lowell community are making a positive difference for our planet's health. And the Environmental Youth Task Force, which, as I understand it, is a branch, so to speak, of the TREES program, allows you to continue this important work as you move or get ready to move from high school into your college years. It is just so great to be with you. It's just inspiring for me to learn about the work you've done and continue to do, from creating rain garden on the grounds of Lowell High School to working with the school cafeteria workers on food waste and sustainability issues, and even leading your own environmental youth conference that includes not just local teenagers, but other youth groups nationwide. At some point, I hope to see some of those projects firsthand and actually get to meet you in person. But until then, please know that you have a good friend, partner, and a strong supporter in the United States Senate. I believe in everything that you believe in. I believe we can make this a better country and a better world. And I just can't thank you enough for all that you have done and will continue to do throughout your lives to protect this beautiful planet of ours. You are the leaders. Young people are leading on climate change, leading on environmental issues. And now generations before you are starting to follow your leadership. That's what the Green New Deal is all about. That's what you're all about. And I'm just so honored to be with you here today. Thank you for everything that you are doing.
Jane, should I go ahead?
Please go ahead.
It's my pleasure to introduce Yuvani Tim, one of those remarkable young people who has been involved in the Environmental Youth Task Force and in the Compass or Trees program before that. Yuvani, would you like to say a word or two after that remarkable tribute from a US Senator?
Sure. Oh, first of all, I just want to say like a huge thank you to the senator for those nice words. I just think it's really inspiring to, first of all, have the support of all like the older generations to support us younger generations. And it's so nice to think of that. It's like, it's sort of like a cycle of just, you know, working for the planet and just how we're all in this together.
Thank you so much, Yuvani. You give us great hope for the future. I had the great pleasure of seeing you speak more than once and present some of the work that you and your teammates have produced, and it's just remarkable. So congratulations to you for what you've done so far and what we know you'll do in the future. As the Senator said, it's really important and we appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And I know that it's not an easy thing to speak before even a virtual group. I know I'm next and I'm kind of excited myself. So I appreciate that you did that too. I'm going to start with a toast before I say a few words because I don't want to get to talking and forget to do the toast. But I don't have a very fancy mug, wine glass even, but this is kind of the sort of thing that you might have as you're out exploring a trust property, a nice sippy cup. So with this, I would like to raise a toast to all of you who are on this call and those who support the trust who couldn't make it tonight, for all you do to make Lowell and this area a better place, hand in hand with the wonderful staff and all the volunteers together of the Lowell Parks and Conservation Trust that make that difference. So here's to you, everybody.
Hello. Cheers.
Choco, choco.
Cheers.
Cheers, and thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Virtual cheers. I already drank my wine.
Oh.
And another one, Deb.
Just feeling nice and mellow. Yeah. Okay.
Well,
So just a few words from me as the president of the board, which is just one of the biggest honors of my life to have that position. And I've been with the trust since, I guess it was 2003. And I haven't stopped feeling awe in regarding all that the trust is able to accomplish, even in the most challenging times. You've seen the evidence tonight. You've just been inundated with good news as we celebrate a very successful year that occurred during a pandemic. As we think about all the good news that we heard tonight, let's think about what connects things like trails, trees, and turtles, bees and butterflies, fish ladders and critter cams, eco-films and environmental youth groups. As noted author Richard Louv pointed out to us at our annual meeting, we share our world with animals and with all living things, and we're all connected to and dependent on each other. Your participation in this soiree and all the ways in which you support the trust, that's all part of the web of connections that each year makes possible this great news that we love to share and that you love to hear. All of these things are connected, and I'll leave you to ponder all the various ways in which they do. I would like to recognize, by the way, someone who has served on the board for some time and has just stepped down, and she's made many contributions over a number of years, and that's Christine McCall, now the Director of Economic Development for the City of Lowell and Assistant City Manager. I'm going to miss having her on the board, seeing her at meetings. Maybe she can still find a little time to participate in some events, as she always has done, of the trusts, but we'll certainly understand if she can't with the busy job that the busy, position of great responsibility that she has now. Thank you, Christine, for all you've done for the trust, and we know that you'll continue to be in our corner in your new position, which is really quite impressive, and kudos to you, and the City of Lowell is fortunate to have you. I'd also like to, again, offer my deepest appreciation to Executive Director Jane Calvin and her remarkably talented staff, the environmental education that you saw evidence of tonight. Those educators are amazing. I'm just in awe of their work. And that work really does contribute to the quality of life in our city and in our region. And especially, as the Senator said, benefits the youth who will learn from what you've been sharing with them. And this is true of Mass Audubon too, because it is a partnership. Sally, Chris, others have made this possible. Those youth will go on, I believe, to carry on this tradition of excellence in communicating the importance of our environment to our quality of life and a healthy planet. And a special thank you to our host tonight, the long patient Henry Marchand, who so wanted to host this event in his beautiful yard, maybe next year, past president of the trust, somebody I have great respect for, and was very aware of the shoes that others have filled before me, including Henry, and so he's another special person in our web. And with that, thank you all, and back to you, Henry, to bring us to a close and maybe a little bit of virtual visitation.
Well, thank you, Sheila. Thank you for those kind words as well, and for all that you do for the trust.
Thank you.
I think we want to express our gratitude to our sponsors one last time. Our lead sponsor is Nancy L. Donahue, supporter, the Romanowski family, and our friends sponsors include Lowell Sun Charities, Christine Cole, Jack Moynihan and Carolyn Walsh, Conway Insurance, Mark and Cassandra Goldwater, Martha Mayo, Enterprise Bank, John Dock Credit Union, Max Berrid, Mark and Elise Martin, the Coppinger Company, and Marjorie Miller. Again, thank you for everything that you do, your support of the soiree, and for the trust and for our community. And now, I'd also like to thank you all for joining us tonight. Hopefully you enjoyed it. It was a great presentation. I want to thank again, as Sheila did, the staff and led by Jane, just a fabulous job they've done for 30 years. It's incredible.